Also, at any time, if you need a break, just let me know. And I think we had a request from your office that take a break, maybe of 5 minutes halfway through the meeting, but if you want other breaks, just let us know. And for all the members, there's a 10-minute round of questioning. And I'm pretty liberal. If you got 5 seconds left in your 10 minutes and you start your question before the 5 seconds run out, I'll let you finish your question, but don't extend it into a 5-minute speech because we got to keep pretty much on time here. So once again, I would welcome everybody to the Judiciary Committee's oversight hearing for the Department of Homeland Security. This hearing comes amid a Democrat-led funding shutdown for the Secret Service, for FEMA, for TSA, and the Coast Guard. These agencies are vital to keeping our country safe. The hearing also comes as our military is engaged with Iran, and I offer my prayers and thoughts to our brave servicemen and particularly to those families that have lost loved ones. Now more than ever, I hope the Democrats will decide to end the shutdown. The Trump administration has worked to deport those who don't have a legal basis in our country. Unfortunately, in the process, some DHS officers, migrants, and protesters have felt threatened, were injured, and in very rare instances, even killed. Mistakes have been made. Let's make it clear, one death is too many. But officers should never be threatened or harmed while enforcing our laws. And there is a clear difference between conduct protected by the First Amendment and unlawful obstruction. From my perspective, I believe immigration enforcement and dignity aren't mutually exclusive. Secretary Noem, I look forward to hearing how you're addressing these important issues while continuing the department's mission. And your department's mission is, of course, one of the most challenging in government. The responsibilities of the Department of Homeland Security are immense. Your department operates in a dynamic environment with increased threats against officers. According to DHS, ICE officers have faced an 8,000% increase in death threats. ICE officers have faced a more than 1,300% increase in assaults. Federal law enforcement officers risk their lives finding and arresting criminals. Those criminals have committed murder, sexual assault on women and children, and many have been part of criminal gangs. According to DHS, ICE has arrested tens of thousands of potential national security risks. And ICE has arrested over 1,500 known or suspected terrorists and made over 7,000 gang arrests. Criminals like this destroy the lives of innocent people and have no business being in our country. And many of them are here because of the Biden administration's shameful open border policy. Under your leadership, the department has renewed focus on removing criminals from our neighborhoods. You've also accomplished what many of my Democratic colleagues have said could only be done through new laws. You did it by securing the border, and President Trump did as well. In 2025, border crossings decreased 93%. According to DHS and Customs and Border Patrol, 0 illegal immigrants were released into the country for 10 consecutive months. And Customs and Border Protection has seized over 617,000 pounds of drugs. For more than a decade, I've done oversight of unaccompanied migrant children. The Biden administration lost track of thousands of children. The Biden administration disgracefully released children improperly vetted sponsors with addresses including gas stations, shopping malls, movie theaters, and even Disney World. That ought to shock the conscience of every American, and we all love children. The Trump administration has located over 145,000 of these children lost by Biden's open border policy, and thank God for finding those children. The department has taken important steps to ensure these children are located and removed from harm. The examples I just shared are results that keep our communities safe. The example, Secretary Noem, you've also been more responsive than your predecessors to a favorite effort of my part, my oversight requests. Now, I say how you've been responsive, but to be intellectually honest, from the previous administration, that's a low bar to overcome. In August last year, you provided updates regarding my longstanding Afghanistan evacuee oversight. Since 2021, I've investigated the Biden administration's failure to vet Afghan evacuees. The Biden administration hid vetting failures from the public, and multiple inspectors general have since confirmed these vetting failures. As one example, the Biden administration failed to vet evacuees against all available Defense Department tactical data prior to being paroled. On September the 9th last year, DHS told my office that as of August 12th, 2025, thousands of Operation Allies welcome parolees were potentially national security risks. Records provided by DHS also show the Biden State Department recommended a special immigration visa to Afghan nationals charged with shooting 2 National Guardsmen here in Washington, D.C. According to the Biden State Department, at that time, the terrorist, quote, poses no threat to national security, end of quote. The Biden administration's failure to put this country at risk. Yet, my Democratic colleagues keep trying to ignore that historical fact. You all know I'm a strong supporter of inspectors generals and oversight. Inspector General Kafari has told my office several times that he's been restricted by DHS memo from speaking to certain congressional committees about classified report. That report is about covert testing of the Transportation Security Administration checkpoint security screening. I hosted last year a bicameral, bipartisan, classified briefing with senior DHS officials on that matter to do what I can to bring about transparency. I asked the Inspector General, Kafari, to attend, but he declined, asserting that there was a memo in the department preventing him from doing so. I've also commissioned the Government Accountability Office to review the matter relating to that classified report. Government Accountability Office has said they've been unable to obtain possession of the report and access to relevant Transportation Security Administration personnel. Inspectors General and the Government Accountability Office help bring about transparency, and we all know transparency brings accountability to government. Secretary Noem, if what my office has been told is accurate, these matters should have been ironed out a long time ago. If that isn't accurate, you can tell me. Lastly, after your confirmation, you worked with me to restore 3 whistleblowers to their jobs. Thank you for helping me, but more importantly, thank you for bringing justice to those people, because those whistleblowers faced tremendous retaliation for just reporting what the government should have been doing. They blew the whistle on the government's failure to comply with DNA Fingerprint Act of 2005. By executive order, President Trump has required compliance with that law. Now those whistleblowers have been elevated to supervisory roles. They'll receive back pay to cover years of financial losses. For 2 of them who needed it, their law enforcement credentials, badges, and firearms were reauthorized. Often I say whistleblowers are treated like skunks at a picnic, and these were treated like skunks by the previous administration. That administration failed to do right by these whistleblowers. I appreciate your leadership in righting the wrongs against those patriotic whistleblowers.